Hey folks, so I thought I should try to see if I can create new varieties of figs by actually pollinating the female fig flowers by purchasing some Capri fig cuttings. So the Capri fig is basically a fancy name for a male fig plant. And I bought some from Nick's Gardens off eBay. And the guy, last winter, like a few months ago, I think it was January or February, I bought some Lebanese black figs. I think he got them when his uncle immigrated to the US from Lebanon. But based on the guy's name, I believe he is from Armenia. So if you know anything about the history, over 100 years ago, when you had the Armenian genocide by the Ottoman Empire, a lot of Armenians fled to Lebanon, and Lebanon accepted a lot of refugees, so we have a large Armenian population in Lebanon. Of course, I'm over here in the US in Zone 7, and we don't have a fig wasp, so I'm going to have to propagate these Capri figs, or use these Capri figs, and manually pollinate the female fig flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and find a place to open this. I should have kept the box cutter handy. That wasn't too hard. So he advertised 3 fig cuttings and gave me 4, which was nice of him. And I had already prepped a bin. I had some in pots and the soil was dry, and then I added some more with some soil that had more moisture, and I filled this up with enough water to soak up. But if we go ahead and start to unsaran wrap this. This is always fun, when they're individually wrapped and you have to saran wrap, but at least individually wrapped, if one of these gets moldy in transit, or if I refrigerate and try to plant them later, I don't have to worry about the other figs getting contaminated. So it's nice that he individually wraps the figs for you. So this is not good when the tip is saran wrap, so I pulled that out that way so I don't damage the tip. It's been my experience that these typically will produce new leaves really fast before they produce roots when you have the growing tip. But saran wrap's always fun to work with. So we have this, and this I think has a little, yeah, he did dip this in wax. So what I'm going to do is keep this over. I'm going to have to cut the end off. But I'm going to do that with all of these. Now this one is cut flat. Typically the part you stick in the ground, you cut at an angle so then you can denote which one's which, but you can easily tell which one's on top on that one. So now when we get to the other one, okay, because I don't have a tip, I'm basically able to easily pull this out without worrying, but he drew a nice arrow on here to show you which side's up. If you ever get fig cuttings and don't know which side's up, when you look at the node, you can see which side wants to form a flower, and that goes up versus this would have been a leaf that had fallen off. So we'll set that there, stay. And we have 2 more. So basically you can see how this is thinner, a little thicker than this and that. So it's one big branch which he cut and got me 4 cuttings out of. And what's nice about giving cuttings versus shipping the whole branch is it's easier to package. You don't have to worry about how am I going to send this big long thing, or have like a tube that won't fit in the mailbox and then it's sitting out in the hot sun unsheltered or whatever until you come home from work to pick up. So let's see. See if I can just, I don't know, there's a node here. I don't want to, well, I'm going to be cutting anyway, but it's probably best I grab the pruners and cut a little slit in the saran wrap to help it along. See how much easier that is. So I'll just cut a slit. And you can also like just try not to cut or damage the actual branch, but that's actually using the pruner to cut a slit actually helps. So we'll set this here. And then we have the other one. Oops. And that worked. So looking at this one, you can see this is the bottom and this side goes up, even though you can look at it and you can tell this is a little thinner than that. So now as we unwind this, yep, there's the arrow pointing up in that direction. So it's very easy to tell which way's up with fig cuttings if they're not really marked, because the fig naturally marks it for you. There we go. So now I'm going to bring my heavier duty pruning shears. I like these things. They're like anvil shears versus like the regular kind. Then I'm just going to cut this like that. And I'm going to stick this in there. See, I don't even need to worry about using, rooting compound on figs because they root readily. They root so easy, it's incredible. So let's see, I don't see a node down here. I like to cut near a node, but I'm gonna stick that in there. And now I can put the lid on, and then as I get more things to propagate, I can stick them in here and I'll have this under some grow lighting in high humidity, and these will start producing new leaves literally within a week or two in this scenario. Well, I hope you found this video informative and have ideas on how fig cuttings are cut and how to propagate them once you receive them. Thanks for watching and happy planting.